Weezy, the sexy grandma 2K, and I'm coming at you today, sis, with a new edition of the strong and beautiful sleigh. As you all know, the whole month of February, I've teamed up with 12 of your favorite wigbaes, and we're going to be bringing to you not only a sleigh, but also telling you about an African American trailblazer who's made a difference in our culture. So with that said, the person that I am teaming up with today is my girl, Miss Pretty Hustler, also known as Deanna Marguerite. Yay! So I just want to say thank you so much, Deanna, for partnering with me to bring this sleigh. I love collaborating with you, sis. You are just a doll. Absolute doll. If you guys have never been to Deanna's channel, which I can't imagine you haven't, but if you haven't, make sure you go over there, check her out, subscribe. I'll leave all of her information in the description box below. If you want to know how to do beauty on a budget, Deanna is your girl, okay? She is going to bring some serious slayage to you. And I mean, sis can make anything, and I do mean anything, look like $1,000,000. So definitely go over, check her out. She's going to show you wigs, makeup, try-on hauls, all kind of different things. And it's all going to be affordable on a budget, and it is going to be straight up beautiful. So thanks again, Deanna, for teaming up with me for this series. I so appreciate you, honey. Mwah! You know I love you. So the person, you guys, that I am going to be telling you about today, and you'll have to go over and check out who Miss Deanna is telling you about. But first, let me say, if you're coming from Deanna's channel, hey girl, hey, welcome. Come on in, make yourself comfortable. I hope that you enjoy yourself here enough to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, hit the like, and give me a comment below to let me know that you've joined the Weezette family. We're so happy to have you here. And if you're already a Weezette, hey sis, hey bruh, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get into the slayage. But before we get into the slayage, the person that I am going to be telling you about today is Miss Ruby Nell Bridges. And now she's Miss Ruby Nell Bridges Hall. But do you know who Miss Ruby Bridges is? Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you all about her. But first, let me just tell you, we are going to be looking at slaying a unit from Outre's Perfect Hairline. It is a 13x6, of course, lace frontal, because it's from the Perfect Hairline. It has that dang on Faux scalp in it. I haven't dealt with the Faux scalp yet at all. So it has also transparent HD lace. I have it in a 1B, and it is the unit Laurel. So this is what she looks like. So I'm going to be going ahead. I'm going to try it on, guys, and see how it looks with this Faux scalp on with my grip cap first. And if it looks a hot mess, then we'll go ahead and take that scalp out, okay? So if we have to take the scalp off, I'll probably be doing a voiceover to kind of keep things moving along. But we'll see. You ready? All right, let's go. Okay, guys, so this is Miss Laurel's stock card. She does come in a number of other fun colors. I did get her in a 1B. She is absolutely beautiful. She does have the HD transparent lace, the 2 combs in the front, the 1 comb in the back with the adjustable straps and that wide elastic band, and she is an air-rated cap. She is definitely beautiful. She has a pre-plucked hairline, and I'm going to just brush her back here and let you guys see the hairline real quick. But she is beautiful. This is what that faux scalp is looking like. So, yeah. Okay, you guys, before I decide to cut this faux scalp out, let me see if I can color it at all. And if I can't, then, because it really don't look that horribly bad if it's able to be colored. So I'm going to take my Scalp Illusion by Milano collection. You guys see me using this a lot lately. And it's kind of got like the cream concealer. So I'm going to stick that on there first. You all, I may not need to cut this thing out. I don't know. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. And I'm going to go in and let's see. I ain't really that mad at this, y'all. Okay, you guys, so I decided we're leaving that faux scalp in there. And also, I did Google it, and it is called a faux scalp, not a fox scalp, which is what you're going to hear me say this entire video. And I know that's going to drive y'all crazy for those of you who know better. But I have educated myself, and I know it's called a faux scalp now. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to slay this unit. If you all want to know the products and everything that I use, I did do another video on how to slay your lace front units, how to create baby hairs, how to melt your lace, and contour your wig to your hairline. So I will leave a link to it up here. Okay, so who is Ruby Nell Bridges? Ruby was actually the first African American child to desegregate the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in Louisiana during the New Orleans school desegregation crisis in 1960. Ruby is actually the eldest of 5 children. She was born on September the 8th of 1954. She is currently 66 years old, and she was born in Tylertown, Mississippi. Her parents' names are Aben and Lucille Bridges. When Ruby was just 4 years old, her family relocated from Tylertown, Mississippi to New Orleans, Louisiana. And when she was 6 years old, her parents responded to a request from the NAACP and volunteered Ruby to participate in the integration of the New Orleans school system. Okay, guys, but first, let's take a step back real quick. So, Ruby was born in the middle of the Civil Rights Movement. Brown versus the Board of Education was decided only 3 months and 22 days before Ruby's birth, which in that ruling, the United States Supreme Court had issued its historic Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas ruling on May 17th of 1954, and it was tied to the 14th Amendment. The decision declared that all laws establishing segregated schools, which meant the process of separating white children and black children, to be unconstitutional and called for the desegregation of all schools throughout the entire nation. After the decision came down, the NAACP attempted to register black students in cities throughout the South to previously all-white schools. Though it was a federal ruling, state governments were not doing their part to enforce the new law, and southern states especially were extremely resistant to do so. But in Little Rock, Arkansas, the school board agreed to comply with the High Court's ruling and approved a plan to be implemented during the fall of the 1957 school year. The NAACP had registered 9 black students selected on the criteria of their excellent grades and attendance records and called them the Little Rock 9. And they were to attend the previously all-white Little Rock Central High School. And of the Little Rock 9, the first student who graduated from that high school was Ernest Green. Yay, Ernest! But when the integration began, actually on September the 4th of 1957, the Arkansas National Guard was called in to, quote, preserve the peace. Now, originally, those orders came from the governor, and he was playing around. Those orders were actually meant to prevent the students from entering the schools due to claims that there was imminent danger. However, President Eisenhower got word of what was going down, and he issued an executive order, and it's Executive Order 10730, which federalized the Arkansas National Guard and ordered the National Guard to support the integration on September the 23rd of 1957 of that year, after which the National Guard then had to protect the African American students and let them get into school safely instead of keeping them out. So Eisenhower was like, oh no, we're not finna play them games, bruh. What did I tell you? Integrate the dang on schools. So that's exactly what happened, y'all. Eisenhower was like, I said what I said. Okay, y'all, so I just want to kind of give you the history of kind of what was going on in the country at that time, and especially down south. So now back to Miss Ruby. So Ruby attended a segregated kindergarten in 1959. 5 years had passed since the Supreme Court had mandated that ruling, and under pressure from the federal government, the Orleans Parish School Board administered an entrance exam to 150 students at Ruby's school. Now, this exam, they did this with the intention of keeping black children out of the white schools. So they wanted to try to make it look like to the federal government, hey, we're doing all we can. We're giving them an exam and none of them can pass it. So they wanted to make it look like they were compliant with the law. Well, the joke was on them because, see, the devil is a lie. Ruby Bridges was one of 6 black children in the New Orleans area to pass that test. And that determined whether they could go to the all-white elementary school or not. So she did pass it, and so she had the go-ahead and attend that school. 2 of the 6 children decided to just stay at their old school. Their parents didn't want them to integrate. So Ruby went to the France Elementary School by herself, and then 3 of the other children out of the 6 were transferred to the McDonald number 19 elementary school, and they became known as the McDonald 3. So on November the 14th of 1960, Ruby and her mom were escorted to the first day of school by 4 U.S. federal marshals who were assigned by President Eisenhower. In the following days, the federal marshals would continue to escort Ruby to school by herself while her mother stayed behind because she had to stay home and care for the younger siblings. Now, Ruby's father was very reluctant about letting Ruby go, but her mother felt very strongly that the move was needed not only to give Ruby a better education, but to also pave the way for other black children. Okay, y'all, so here goes some of the really sad parts. All the white parents pulled their children out of school because Ruby was going to attend there. So over 500 students got pulled out of school. All the teachers, except for one, refused to teach while a black child was enrolled in the school. The first day of school, Ruby and her mom spent the entire day in the principal's office because of the chaos in the school, which prevented them from moving to Ruby's classroom. Now, Miss Barbara Henry came from Boston, Massachusetts, and was the only one person who would agree to teach Ruby. And for over a year, Mrs. Henry taught her all alone as if she were teaching a whole entire class. On the second day of school, a 5-year-old white student broke the boycott and entered the school through an angry mob with her dad, who was a Methodist minister. A few days after that, white parents began to start letting their children trickle back in, but they refused to allow them to attend class with Ruby, so Ruby remained the only child in her classroom until the following year. Now, you all, every morning as Ruby walked to school with the U.S. Marshals, there was a woman who would threaten to poison her. Like, she would be screaming that she was going to poison her. And then another woman had like a black baby doll and put it in a coffin and would scream that she was going to kill her. And then other people had little dolls like hanging them and screaming that they were going to kill her. So this poor baby became very afraid, and because they were threatening to poison her and everything, the U.S. Marshals allowed her to stay in the classroom and eat her lunch by herself every day in the classroom. Well, Ruby would take her sandwiches and her lunch, and she would hide them in a cabinet in the classroom because she was afraid to eat, because she was afraid the people were going to poison her. So after a while, the people had to call in an exterminator because they noticed mice. Well, the mice was coming in to eat the food that Ruby was leaving behind. I wouldn't have been able to let my baby go through all that. That's too much. She wouldn't have been a trailblazer. We would all just been dumb. So anyway, child psychiatrist Robert Coles volunteered to provide counseling to Ruby during her first year at France Elementary. He met with her every week at her home. He and his wife and her parents became really good friends. He later wrote a children's book, The Story of Ruby Bridges, to acquaint other children with Ruby's story. And he took all the royalties and donated them to Ruby Bridges Foundation. I thought that was really cool. So things weren't always rosy, you all. As a result of all of this, her father lost his job. They could no longer shop at their local grocery store. Her grandparents were sharecroppers in Mississippi and were turned off of their land. Her parents eventually separated. I mean, it was just a lot. I have so much more I want to tell you guys, and I'm slaying this wig so fast we're running out of time. Anyway, Ruby does still live in New Orleans. She married Malcolm Hall in 1984. They had 4 sons. She did become a travel agent and later a homemaker, and then later in 1999 started the Ruby Bridges Foundation to promote the values of tolerance, respect, and appreciation of all differences. The mission of the foundation is racism is a grown-up disease, and we must stop using our children to spread it. So here's a couple fun facts. Ruby is the subject of the 1964 painting, The Problem We All Live With by Norman Rockwell. Here's a picture of it. After passing her test, you know, that they gave her to try to keep her out of the school, everybody kept coming by and congratulating her parents and saying how smart Ruby was. So Ruby thought that she was going from kindergarten right to college. And on her first day at school, when they had to stay in the principal's office all day, she later told her mom, college is so easy. Bless her heart. She had never seen a white teacher before she had met Mrs. Henry. Ruby described her first day of school this way. Driving up, I could see the crowd, but living in New Orleans, I actually thought that it was Mardi Gras. There was a large crowd of people outside of the school. They were throwing things and shouting, and that sort of goes on in New Orleans at Mardi Gras. In 1993, she actually enrolled her 4 nieces to the exact same William Frantz elementary school she attended. Former U.S. Deputy Marshal Charles Burks later recalled that Ruby showed a lot of courage. She never cried. She didn't whimper. She just marched along like a little soldier, and we're all very, very proud of her. In 2005, Ruby had lost her home to the catastrophic flooding of Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina also greatly damaged Frantz Elementary School, and Ruby was very instrumental in fighting to rebuild the school. So hats off to you, Mrs. Ruby Nell Bridges Hall. You are definitely a true African American trailblazer. And I just want to thank you for all of your sacrifices and for making a way for so many of us. Okay, you guys, this is my final look. OMG. Okay, so, I love this thing. Absolutely love it. Now, let me just say, this false scalp, I did not take it out. As you guys saw, I left it in. It is not a problem. To me, you can't even tell. I know a lot of other people's, like, I could tell, and I don't know if it's because the unit I have is a 1B. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but I did not take it out. It's there. I just put my concealer, and maybe that's another thing. Maybe you need to do liquid and powder on top of it. I'm not sure. But I did do my cream concealer and then my powder contour on top, as you guys saw. And I mean, to me, it's looking nice. So I ain't mad at that at all. So I feel like I can part this 13 by 6 wherever I want and just do that technique in it. And that false scalp, it ain't stopping no show here, baby. No, ma'am. I am getting a lot of shedding. As you guys saw, I did cut, a lot of the hair off. So I did go ahead, and contour it to, my hairline to fit my face. And as you saw, I did cut a lot of the lace off of it in order to contour it and sculpture it to my face. Oh, I love this thing. I am not mad at it at all. Let's see, big head friendly. This thing is huge head best friend, like for real, for real. There is a lot of room in this cap, a lot of cap, a lot of lace to contour to your face. So it's a lot, sis. It's a lot. It don't matter what size your head is. It's gonna fit up in this joker because I got a whole lot of space left. It does not have a shine. It does have a yucky texture. I love that about it. I mean, look how pretty. Oops. Look how pretty this is. This is absolutely gorgeous. Yes. You guys saw the 360, the body waves and curls in this thing is absolutely popping. I am like totally and completely in love with this wig. And I don't know why it's been sitting on my, well, I do know why. Because of that false scalp, I didn't want to fight with it. So I have like this one, Charisma, Ariel, Dominica, and I can't remember what the other ones are that all have that false scalp in it. And they just been sitting there because I ain't feel like fighting with this scalp and having to cut it out and doing all that extra. But now I see, sis, you don't have to do all that if you don't want to. And it's just fine. I'm so shook. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning about Miss Ruby Bridges Hall. She did write a book, you all. I ordered it off of Amazon. It is called This Is Your Time. It is a really, really nice book that tells about her story. It tells about her foundation and the mission of the foundation and those kind of things. So I absolutely, I fell in love with her story. Man, I don't know about you guys, but we didn't really learn about her in school. And so it was really nice learning, being able to dive into these things and learn them on our own. Like, definitely, you guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description box of a YouTube interview that she did with, I think it was the 700 Club. And there was also a YouTube interview that Dr. What was his name? The psychiatrist that he did, that I'm also going to link in the description box. So make sure you guys click on those and check those out. You're really going to like hearing her story from her mouth. And I also, you all, last night, there is a movie about this on the Disney Channel. And if you just put in Ruby Bridges story, it will come up for you. And I did watch the movie last night as well. So hats off to you, Miss Ruby Bridges Hall. You are definitely an African American trailblazer for all of us, especially all of us with, to be able to be educated, for higher education, for diversity, and just learning how to be able to accept one another. I absolutely adore you for all that. I thank you for opening doors and making a path for all the rest of us to follow. God bless you. I pray that you're well and healthy. And you guys, so make sure you check this stuff out. Also, head on over to Deonna Marguerite's channel, which is now, she changed the name of her channel, so now I have to stop and think. But it is Miss Pretty Hustler. So head over to Miss Pretty Hustler, check out her review, because I know she's finna slay whatever it is, and also hear about the African American Trailblazer that she's going to tell you about. Make sure you subscribe to her channel, like, comment, and let her know that Weezy sent you. All right? You guys be absolutely blessed. I love you all to pieces. And remember what I always say, guys, to show somebody a little piece of heaven today. This is Weezy, the sexy grandma 2K. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye. This unit is bomb.com. I ain't telling you how to spend your coins, but you might want to get this one. Bye, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry for what I have put you through. I still have you on my mind, my mind. My focus been drifting.